Hey friends, it's Heather. I am back with a project to share, which is my last post and project for Buterfly Reflections Ink. It has been so fun and a wonderful experience, so I thought I would go out with a bang. I actually have been creating mini albums for the fall season for years now. It is my favorite season, so you could probably tell by all the love and effort that went into this. Obviously, they're more time consuming than a scrapbook layout, but I really enjoy all the traditions during the fall season, and yeah, it's just my favorite time of the year. So I created this album primarily with the Pink Paisley Auburn Lane collection, and I incorporated quite a bit of stamping and embossing and my border punch. I have one that cuts out leaves, which I use there on the edge of the vellum, and then I heat embossed some stamped images from Ali Edwards stamp set, which is one of my favorites. I incorporated some charms from my stash, as well as those pins from Tim Holtz, and also some lace trim that I machine stitched. I also incorporated a lot of hand stitching. I whited out an area of that pattern paper you'll see there on the left, just so the cut file would stand out. That cut file is from the cut shop, and I hand stitched around the edge. I also incorporated some fabrics. I thought it just added some nice texture and went really well with the theme. Those pumpkins are part of a border cut file from the cut shop, which I cut apart and stitched with my sewing machine. Those tags are actually from, I think, an old Heidi Swap collection, and I used some of those to add my journaling. I used some of the ribbon from my stash. I like when I create a mini album for there just to be different textures, different size pages. I think it keeps it interesting as you're looking through. That tag right there is actually a die from Lawn Fawn, and I stamped the back of it, or heat embossed it as well, with some Ranger Rose Gold embossing powder, and that stamp is from Impression Obsession. It is one of my favorites. The Leaves and Acorns is from a stamp set from Sunny Studios, which I actually stamped in the Distress Oxide Tattered Rose. That color works really well with this collection, and then I clear embossed it. The cut file there I added to a pattern paper. It's from Paige Evans. And then those wood frames are from the Pink Paisley collection, and I love those. And those stickers, those are one of my favorites right now. I don't know if it's the second or third set Pink Paisley has put out, but this set has gold on one side and then a set of rose gold in it as well, and then it has a black foam core, and I love the size, I love the colors, and there's so many letters included in it. So that is another tag. Again, I added my journaling. I also used some of the rub-ons that were in that collection. And then I created this little pocket with a piece of transparency. That cut file is from the cut shop, which I hand stitched on a little bit. And then those are some pictures from my birthday, which is in October. So yes, it definitely adds to the fall season and why it's one of my favorites. That is another stamped image from a stamp set from Neat and Tangled, which it says, "'Tis the season for pumpkin everything," and I love that stamp set. That page right there actually incorporated some burlap ribbon from my stash. I just like the way that it just coordinates with sort of the rustic feel of it. That cut file, that acorn, it says Fall Days, that is from the cut shop. And I backed it with some vellum and pattern paper and added some sequins. And then I actually colored a lot of my cut files, or I painted them with some shimmers. There's another piece of vellum from the collection that I punched the leaf border punch on. And then that card with the little house I cut out and then I hand stitched just for some added texture. There's my turkey. This is from last year's season, and we cooked at my house, I hosted my in-laws, my husband's family, which we do every other year. So I love dressing the table and preparing the food. And so I get really excited about the decorations. This is one of my favorite parts of the season. So I added some lace trim, which was a good place to add the charms. And then those photos there, I just attached with some washi tape. I think it's from crepe paper. There was a set of a couple different types of golds, but I did it so I could add all the journaling. And then that little pocket page, it's 4x4, which I stitched closed so I could add sequins. And then I included all the little punched out leaves from the border punch. That pocket right there is a glassine bag. I think that's how you say it. And an acorn from the cut shop. And then that wood card I have had for so long. I don't remember where it came from, but I finally decided I was just going to use it and write on the back my journaling. It talks about those cards. I request, or more like insist, that my family write down what they're grateful for each year. And the answers are not always very creative or original, but I like to see how the answers change, and I just think it's a good way to start the meal. So that little card, the candy corn die frame, is from Paper Tray Ink, and honestly it's really serving no purpose in my mini album, and I just tuck in some of the die cuts from the embellishment pack. It just was cute and I wanted to incorporate it. So there you go. I stamped and heat embossed one of the images from my stamp set from Allie Edwards on the back. And then that page right there, I machine stitched a strip of pattern paper and then tucked in these photos, which I machine stitched a little tab, a ribbon tab on it, and then I secured it with a paper clip. There's a set from Doodlebug with leaves and acorns, and I thought they were really cute. So I'm always looking for different ways to tuck in photos and journaling just to keep things interesting, especially when you do, a mini album for the same season every year. The traditions are the same, and, the activities might be the same. So I don't want the albums to become too repetitive. So I try to keep them interesting. And then the last couple of pages are just a couple cut files from the cut shop that I painted with Shimmers paints and just added some stickers and embellishments. And that is pretty much it. I had a really good time making this. It's easy to create an album like this when you are really enjoying the content, and fall is my favorite, like I've mentioned. So I had a really good time creating it. And the binding of that is actually a piece of denim from an old pair of jeans that I stitched onto the pattern papers. I used some binder rings and attached charms from my stash. The clip that's holding the charms is from Tim Holtz. There was a package of those. I'm not sure what they're called, but they work really well and easy to add. So I hope that you really like what you saw and you were inspired maybe to create your own mini album for fall or whatever season you enjoy most. Here are some still shots and close-ups of the pages. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment and I will answer as best I can. I have really enjoyed being on the design team, and this is my last post, but I will be back soon with more projects. And actually, I have another album share for the year before. So thank you so much for joining me and watching. I really appreciate all your comments and likes, and I hope you have a great day. I will be back soon with another project to share. Thanks so much. Bye now.